All right. Hello again, everyone. It is Coach Joe and Susan Eileen with our seventh gift of sobriety. Everything we're talking about is based on the book that is really Susan's memoir. It's called From Nada to Prada and talks about Susan's journey from addiction to recovery, and then the work that we have done with recovery coaching as coach and coachee, and now how we are moving forward to help everyone. We hope you enjoy these recordings. We have had really a blast recording them because there's a an organic chemistry between us that we just know the subject, but we don't have anything written down. So the conversation goes where it goes. So today is focus instead of confusion. And before we started recording, Susan had some great insights into that. So I am now going to toss it over to Susan Eileen.
Hi. Yes, focus instead of confusion has been truly life altering for me. Obviously, in early sobriety, the focus is just 100% on staying sober. But as time went on, I have a very creative flair. That's actually, to me, one of the superpowers of my invisible disability. Um, so as far as the Alice in Wonderland quote that I would have six impossible ideas before breakfast, I never made any forward movement in my life because I wasn't sure which idea was better than the other, how to actualize it, how to take it to the finish line. Like the execution, the executive function needed to take it to the finish line had never been developed in me. And so, as a result of writing the book, a whole bunch of things came into place like accidentally. Um, before I wrote the book, I thought to myself, I really need to change my relationship with money. I really need to work on that foundation that I didn't get as a kid that I allude to in the book. I need to work on my communication, which it clearly isn't very good when you're just hanging out in not very nice places. But in writing the book, like project-based learning, all of that came together. And so now, not only do I have the book, but I also have like a quilting business on the side. I have figured out how to go from idea to execution, which is, actually improving every part of my life. It improves your self-confidence, it improves your money. Uh, it actually is a great mindful activity where the quilting, so if I get upset, I can just like use it as a healthy coping mechanism. Like there's really there's nothing bad that can be said when you bring your life into focus, because all you're getting rid of is the shiny stuff syndrome. The
Yeah.
stuff that you weeded out was stuff
Mhm.
you were able to get along with the whole time anyways.
Absolutely. So, full disclosure, part of that shiny object syndrome is because myself and Susan Eileen, we both have ADHD. About 25 to 30% of those with addictive behavior have ADHD. So that shiny object syndrome always leads to unfinished projects. And we joke a little bit, but at one point in the coaching that we did, I referred to Susan Eileen as a firework because she had these really intense ideas which were amazing. And then all of a sudden that firework went up in the air and it exploded in a million different directions and everything got kind of lost in the shuffle.
Well, and so now, because I've developed a great organizational system that works for me,
Mhm.
right now I have a book that's in development. I have a couple of quilts that I'm working on, and I have a really fun game that's in development. So I actually have four projects that are in development, but now I'm organized enough that I'm confident that all four of those will eventually come to fruition. But I can only do that this far into developing my focus. That's something you don't want to do early on. But my point is whatever mood I'm in, I can match up
Mhm.
the creative project to the mood that I'm in
Yeah,
to get the maximum results. And
absolutely.
so,
Yeah, absolutely. But it also goes back to comorbidities. So again,
yes.
the coaching coaching with regards to addictive behaviors, the coaching that we do, you've got to treat the underlying issues. So ADHD, bipolar, whatever it is, uh, have that treated, or else coaching really is not going to work out really well for you. You're not going to get the results that you want.
Yes, because I've explained to Coach Joe that when you are over focused in either multiple areas of
Mhm,
your life, or you're spread too thin, you go out of balance. And that
mhm,
can lead to emotional outbursts, that can lead to nervous breakdowns, that can lead to burnout, which is going to increase your chance of having a recurrence. And we want to set you up for success.
mhm,
And so, what I've learned is a lot of self monitoring too, where now I notice like 4 days into going off balance that I'm off balance. But that's great because that means I'm now learning how I interact with my comorbidity, and
mhm.
I'm learning my ADHD and getting in tune with it. And as I get in tune with my ADHD, it's minimizing the impact that it has on my life.
That is so well said, because that really is an example of, in the past, someone with addictive behavior may get those feelings and can't process or cope with them, so they turn to their addictive behavior. And what Susan Eileen has learned, is to how to accept those feelings and then process them better, better coping
Yes.
mechanisms.
Yes, because you don't, you can over intellectualize your feelings where you're like, oh, I feel this way because I'm in the fourth stage of grief, or you just completely ignore it. But we want to do is shoot for the middle, the balance, the homeostasis. Whereas this is how I'm feeling. I'm going to sit with this feeling for a while. And if it doesn't go away on its own, I'm going to get up and I'm going to turn on a comedy show, or I'm going to quilt, or I'm going to work on my
Mhm,
game project. But I am going to intentionally redirect myself
mhm.
out of a recurrence.
Absolutely. So give us your definition, or a simple definition, of home homeostasis.
Yes. I would say homeostasis would be having all parts of your life in balance where you feel like you have a solid foundation.
Mhm,
Um, and I feel like that you are achieving homeostasis if you are focused on the present more than you've ever been. You're not like cleaning up disasters from 6 months ago. You're
mhm.
not worried. You're not getting ahead of yourself and making grand plans for 6 months in the future when you don't even have today under control. So
Yeah,
I would say, grounding yourself in the present, and just not getting overly emotional, because what active addicts don't realize is that most of your feelings are supposed to be neutral. Most of your life is supposed to be neutral. You are
yeah,
not supposed to live in a constant state of drama and turmoil.
yeah.
So going from drama and turmoil to a peaceful existence can actually, you're not sure, like it takes a little bit to get used to because you are so used to the drama. Also,
That is very, very true. At some point, you feel like I should be worrying about something, because
yeah, yeah.
so it
No, that
doesn't
happened to me
doesn't feel
about three
right.
weeks ago. That
Mhm,
happened to me 3 weeks ago with Savannah. I go, wait a second. is my life so put together that there's no disaster happening behind my back right now? And I'm
Mhm.
like, huh, I guess I really have turned, there is no disaster that's forming right now behind my back that I know of. And if it does, I'm in the best place in my life to deal with it, because
Exactly.
you don't get rid of your problems in sobriety, you get better problems.
Yep.
And I would leave you with, I have never woken up in the morning and thought, gee, I wish I had a hangover right now.
That is very true because you've said
Yeah,
it in past recordings, which
yeah,
is that sobriety has a 100% satisfaction rate. So
yes.
there you go.
The people who have gotten sober have never said to them, oh, wish I was still out there getting arrested and going to court and,
Yep. Yep.
taking everybody off. I miss the chaos, said no one ever.
Said no one ever. Exactly. And on that note, we're going to wrap this one up, and we will see you in the next episode where we are going to talk about having courage. That's the next gift of sobriety. Also, at the end of this video, you are going to see some information about two workshops that we're doing in support of Dry January. There's going to be one January 2nd, one January 4th. You'll have the information at the end of this to go out to Eventbrite and register. The event is free, and we will talk a little bit more in depth about the Breaking the Chains program that I put together, and that Susan and I are now working together to bring to everyone, because everyone deserves to live the life they choose. So, on that
Yes.
note, we will see you next time. Take
All
care.
right.